This is probably the busiest we have been as a team. I don't think we've ever been this active at the trade deadline, at least since I can remember. But I kind of wanted to start with Killian Hayes. So Killian Hayes was waived today. Killian Hayes was drafted in 2020 with the 7th overall pick. And the first thing I want to say about that is we all know that, we expected a lot from Killian Hayes. We had a lot of expectations for Killian Hayes. And it didn't pan out. It didn't work out. Hindsight's 2020. It's easy to say, we should have took Halliburton, we should have did this, should have did that. But we did what we did, and I think it was best for everybody for us to move on and for him to move on as well. Contrary to the report that you heard, Killian Hayes did not want to leave, guys. He did not want to be traded. He did not want to be moved. We have sources close to the situation to tell us that. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. And as a result of that, he had to get moved. That's where we are. Killian Hayes is no longer Detroit Piston. But I think we all knew the writing was on the wall. But let's talk about the good and the bad with him. So Killian Hayes is above average defender. He's not a great scorer. We know that. He's not a scorer. That's not his strength. That's not what he's good at least not on the NBA level. And we understand that. And that's okay. Very good at taking care of the ball. And he was able to set guys up pretty well. I think it made it hard for him because he wasn't able to really get penetration. That was his first step. He wasn't able to really get by guys with his first step. And that, I think, was really made it hard for him because he has a good handle. You don't really see him turning the ball over or losing the ball or getting ripped up or anything like that. You don't even see guys trying to pressure him to take the ball from him because it seems that they know that, he's a good ball handler. He's got the ball on the screen. He just doesn't seem to be able to get into the paint or to be able to get downhill, which would allow him to be able to do more things and find open guys. And he didn't seem to use his size well. That's one thing I really wish Killian would have done. He's 6'5". He didn't take advantage of his size. And that's one thing that I think coming into the draft that season in 2020, that's what Troy Weaver liked about him. Because Troy Weaver said when he first drafted him that one of the reasons he took Killian over Hallie was because of his size and his physicality, with him being 6'5". I didn't really see that physicality when he was here. When Troy initially said that, I'm thinking, okay, he may even be able to have a post game. And he's talked about physicality, or being able to just body up guys. But, it just didn't work out, guys. So I think it's his best, and it's going to take me to the next point as far as what I think Troy is doing long term. But yeah, Henry Stokes, I'm with you there. I think the Spurs are going to pick him up. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened very soon, because that's exactly what Victor Wembanyama needs. I've seen so many times. I watch the Spurs closely, not as closely as King because that's his second favorite team, but I watch them pretty closely just because I love Victor. There's so many times off of pick and roll action, and you see they're just not getting Wemby the ball. They're just not getting him the ball where he needs to have it, and you see him sometimes frustrated. He's throwing his hands up. There won't be much attention on him. He has one of the biggest stars in the league on his team, and he can just feed him and feed the shooters they have over there. Having a guy like Sohan over there too, and having Greg Popovich, having him alone in his ear, it's only going to make him better. Pop is Pop. We know what his resume is. We know what he has accomplished. So I think Killian Hayes would be great for the San Antonio Spurs. And shout out to his family. They're great people. I got a chance to know them a little bit. But I just hope the best for them and for his family going forward. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about Killian. I mean, we don't want to beat a dead horse, right? We know what it was. We had a feeling this was going to happen at some point in the season. I didn't think it would happen in the last day of the trade deadline. But it still worked out for everybody in the long run, I think, as far as that. Just because we were able to move off of him, and now he's able to move forward. And now we're able to kind of clear space for the young guys. And that's what I want to get to next, guys, is why did all of this happen? Right? Why did all these trades happen? Why did so many guys get moved? Why did the guys we get back in return not seem to add up to the value that many people think that we should have gotten? Right? A lot of guys were like, we traded all of our spacing. We traded all of our guys. But yeah, so a lot of people were just wondering what was going on. Why did we trade all of our shooting to only get Grimes, Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, guys of that nature that we have on this team? And I think the reason for that is this. I think Troy Weaver still at this point, because guys have been hurt, because guys have been in and out of the lineup, because Monty Williams has shuffled his lineups we've often seen and putting the veteran guys in because he felt that the young guys weren't performing up to par, which I didn't agree with, right? But, I think because of those things, I think Troy Weaver now just wants to clean house. I think he wanted to clean house and make a path for the young guys at any cost. Could he have gotten a little bit more? We don't know, because we don't know what was offered at this time. Could he have offered Bogey last year? Yeah, he could have and got something back from Bogey last season. He may have gotten a bigger return last season. Maybe he gambled a little bit and it didn't pan out the way he thought going into this season. Who knows, right? So maybe that was a mistake that he made, if we're just being honest, right? Who knows? But at this point in time, I think Troy said, you know what, forget this. Let's just clean house. Let's clean house and let's go ahead and give all of our young guys opportunity. And that's what I think has happened now. With Killian Hayes no longer here, Marcus Sasser is going to get a lot of minutes, which is what I love this. I love to see that. Marcus Sasser, he had 18 points last night. He played a great game last night. The more he plays, the better he's going to get. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Marcus Sasser progresses in his NBA career, because he's going to be a hell of a player. I'm pretty confident in saying that. So and then also now with we moved off of Kevin Knox, we moved off a lot of guys, so that that is going to give an opportunity for guys like Sar Thompson, right? With Bogey gone, Kevin Knox gone, we got rid of some guys that were making it harder for him to get time. So now I want to see guys like Sar Thompson get more of an opportunity. I want to see guys like Marcus Sasser get more of an opportunity. I definitely want to see guys like Jaden Ivey continue to get more of an opportunity, which he will, now that the backcourt has been kind of cleared out a little bit. So, long story short, exactly. That's why, because I believe he's shown them enough already. He's shown me enough. To prove that he deserves a role on this team, wherever it is. Right? Oftentimes you will see him coming off the bench with Alec Burks. You see him come off the bench with Killian Hayes. Now he's going to have a defined role off the bench. Now that Monte Morris is also gone, right? So it's pretty clear to me what Troy's doing. It doesn't look great now because we didn't have any big names come back, but I think that's kind of the point. If you bring back a big name now, right? What does that do, once again, for being able to evaluate what you have as a team? You really can't evaluate what you have as a team if you have guys who are in front of your in front of your young guys. And that's what was going on. Troy Weaver strategically decided to just make sure that our guys had an opportunity, because now they have a clear opportunity. And that's what I want to see. We got some good guys in return. We got Quentin Grimes in return, who I want to see. He's a great defender. I want to see how he looks. I want to see a lot of Simone Montecchio too. Fontecchio. Simone Fontecchio. I'm trying to get his name right. But I'm looking forward to him too. He's nice, guys. Fontecchio's nice. He's not a star or anything like that, but I could see a path for him getting, if not starter minutes, I can see him getting minutes off the bench consistently. He's a great shooter. That's the thing I liked about him, because it seems like Troy Weaver said, okay, let me get some shooters in here. We got Muscala, he got more shooting, right? And we know that Fontecchio is a great shooter. He's shooting 39% this season, right? 39% this season he's shooting from 3-point range. Kevin Knox is shooting 33%. So that's a huge upgrade, right? Guys were not respecting our shooters when they were here, which made it harder for our penetrators to get into the lane, to get downhill. So the more shooting we have, the better for our young guys. We have a guy like Jaden Ivey who's able to get downhill whenever he wants. That's exactly what you need. And that's what we got. So we got younger and we got better shooters. Dwayne, you hit it on the head. That's exactly what I said. We got younger, we got better shooters. Honestly, guys, this is just the youth movement. This is the youth movement. And that's where we are. Are these guys going to be here long term? We got to wait and see. But the point is evaluation time. It's evaluation time. And so I think because think about it. What were we going to do the rest of the season? If you go and trade for a big name now, right? What is that going to do for you? Other than win you 5 to 7 more games and weaken your draft stock. It's not going to do anything. As far as, let me see, Sean said, can any of them play? I don't think so. They likely have to pass their physicals. I don't even think anybody has arrived in Portland yet, especially with these trades just happening today. Usually when a trade happens, it takes between 24 to 48 hours for the physical to get passed. So I would say it's a possibility that they might play next game. But as of tonight, probably not. And I'm curious to see what the lineup is going to be with Bogey out. I'm imagining we're going to see something of a Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, maybe a Sar Thompson at the 3, Isaiah Stewart at the 4 if he's healthy, and Jalen Duren at the 5. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Unless you want to get more shooting in that small forward spot, right? But we do get more defense in that small forward spot because now we would have a Sar there as opposed to Bogdanovich. But getting back to Fontecchio, guys, Fontecchio is nice, man. I watched him. I watched some highlights of him, and he's nice. I like the way he plays. He's a great shooter. He's got a quick release, great balance in his jump shot. He's got great instincts too. He's a great help defender. I saw him swat a few shots and a few highlights that I saw from him. It was pretty impressive, right? His anticipation is also very, very good defensively. So I think Fontecchio is going to surprise a lot of you guys because he surprised me. If you haven't, go check out some of his footage. He's pretty nice. I think him and Quentin Grimes were the big gets, like King Tom mentioned right here. I think those are the 2 big gets. I really like Quentin Grimes defensively as well. And that's what our mindset is. That's what our defensive mindset is. Now that we have all these young guys here, I want to see them start playing right away, right? Because we can't evaluate if these guys don't play. So hopefully he's able to play. But if he doesn't play, then that just means that he's still having some issues with his knee. And I hope that's not a lingering issue. I don't know why we would keep playing him, here and there, like sit in a game, play in the game, sit in a game, play in the game. That's how chronic injuries develop. That's exactly how chronic injuries develop. I don't even know why we keep playing him if he's not healthy. If he's not healthy, sit him out. What are we doing? What are we doing? Sit him out for 2 weeks or however long, and just let him rest and let him get healthy. So that way, for the stretch run post All-Star break, we can come back and these guys can just play. They can make mistakes. They can learn. They can grow. They can lose games. They can win some games, right? That's what I want to see. Yeah, just let him heal. Yeah, 3 am I right? Just let him heal. What are we in a rush to do right now? I don't know about Evan Fournier. I haven't seen him in a while. The last thing I remember of Evan Fournier was when he was D'ing up KD, and KD just abused him on offense and gave him too small. That's the last thing I remember of Evan Fournier. As far as this, why didn't Troy? We don't know what, and that's the thing. We don't know what the market was. We have no idea what the market was. I'm pretty sure Troy tried to get something for him. I'm pretty sure he tried to do that. But Troy's not just going to waive a guy if he knows that he can get some value back. So that just tells me that he made phone calls and everybody hung up. They probably wanted to try to swindle us because they knew that we were likely trying to move off of him. So if that was the case, then him waiving him was better than that, instead of just trying to put us in a worse position. So here's the thing, D-Matt, when you say finish strong, I partially agree with you, or maybe I'm just not understanding what you're saying. But I believe here's what I mean when I say finish strong. Continue to grow. Right, I'm not looking for them. I don't have a win total that I want them to get to as far as a barometer for success. Right, I just want to see them continue to incrementally get better. Right, I want to see guys play with more confidence. I want to see guys continue to show confidence and trust in each other. I want to see guys continue to move the ball. I want to see chemistry continue to develop. I want to see defense. What I think may happen now, to be honest with you guys, and you can look for this, I think you're going to see another level, get to another gear as far as effort and as far as drive. I think now everyone feels as if, okay, now we can go play. Now we can all just go out there and do our thing, right? There aren't guys ahead of us. There aren't veterans ahead of us. We won't get pulled for veterans if we make mistakes. We won't get benched for those things. Now we can go out there and just play. That doesn't mean you just go and make mistakes. But the point is that they'll get a chance to make those mistakes so they cannot make them in the future. And that's what I want to see. This is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually surprised that James Wiseman is still here too. But I wonder if it was a situation like it was with Killian, to where nobody really wanted him. Because if you can't make it work in Golden State, what makes you think it's going to work anywhere else? Not saying it can't, but that is an organization that is synonymous with winning the last decade and a half, the last decade at least. Synonymous with winning. One of the greatest coaches ever in Steve Kerr, right? One of the greatest shooters ever in Steph Curry. one of the greatest leaders ever, or among men, enforcers in Draymond Green, right? So just I don't know if the value was there for him. I don't know if the interest was there for him, because he had an opportunity. He probably had a bigger opportunity here than he had there, right? Because he was on a team with young guys. He was on a team where he wasn't expected to perform right away, but he just didn't show us enough. At least she hasn't shown me enough. Even though we've cleared out a lot of guys and we've moved a lot of guys and things like that, I still don't see a role for him. I would rather play one of our stretch fours, because James Wiseman is not a post presence, not a consistent post presence, right? So you can't dump the ball down to him like Joel Embiid and go give me a bucket. That's not his game. And he also can't stretch the floor. And then defensively, he's not great either. So a lot of the things that we would need him to do as a big man, he just doesn't do them. And that's no shade to him. He just doesn't fit. He just doesn't fit. So I'm surprised. I don't think he's going to have a role, guys. I think his minutes are going to go elsewhere. He has the size and talent to really be something, but just don't want to play. Yeah, Tone, he doesn't like physicality. He doesn't seem to embrace physicality the way a guy like Jalen Duren does. Jalen Duren is trying to bang. He's trying to put you in the rim when he's dunking the ball. He loves that physicality. And James Wiseman, for him to be as tall as he is, he just doesn't seem to welcome that physicality. I've seen guards being able to get into the paint and being able to score him at will, not even being afraid of him being there. So that tells you he's not even a presence. If guys are willing to just go into the lane and not to be looking to make a pass once they get there because of help defense from Wiseman, right? If they're not even worried about him, they're still looking to score over a 7'1" guy. That's a problem. The D-Map, we haven't seen any blowouts recently. It's been a minute since we've seen a blowout, since we've been just blown off the floor, which is encouraging. But I think that's going to continue now that we have made room for our young guys. Once again, I know I'm saying it a lot, but we've made room for our young guys to really be able to step up to the challenge. I think Asar can be a decent shooter. Asar reminds me a lot of us of guys like Kawhi Leonard, right, who came into the league, or Jimmy Butler, right? Two guys who, when they came into the league, were defensive guys. That was what they hung their hats on, especially Jimmy Butler. When he was with Chicago, he wasn't even looking to score the ball, unless it was a fast break where he's just leaking out and catching a dunk or something like that, catching an oop or something like that, or fast break play. But Jimmy wasn't, when he was playing with Joe Noah and Carlos Boozer and D Rose and Heinrich and all those guys, he wasn't a scorer. He wasn't even looking to score. So, but over time, he developed his game. Same thing with Kawhi. When Kawhi first came into the league, right? He was a young pup, and all his focus was defense, right? And he was built for that. So, but over time, he worked on his craft, he worked on his game, and he developed, his offense. So, is Asar going to get to that level? Who knows? Right? Who knows? Right now, most of Asar's offense is going to come off his defense. I say that all the time, right? Whether he's getting steals or blocks, or whether he's D'ing up, clamping up the best offensive player, most of his offense is going to come off of his defense. So that's what I'm looking for. So I think next year Asar can be an average shooter, or close to league average shooter, maybe 30%. If Asar can get to 30%, because right now he's at 14%. That's not gonna cut it. Right now he's at 14%. Last time I checked, he's at 14%. If he can get to about 30 and make guys just respect him somewhat, right, next season, to where they're just not leaving him and they're just packing the paint and leaving him wide open, that'll be a win. But I think that's what's necessary for him to have a clear-cut path to a starting role next season. He has to work on his shooting.
I'm on my way up and I'm not gonna stop. We headed straight to the top in the low. I gotta face it. I got no time to waste it.